Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the 2,500-year-old playbook of one of the greatest thinkers in all of history. I mean, just look at the world today, right? All the division, the conflict, the general lack of respect you see all over the place. It's so easy to think, wow, these are uniquely modern problems. But what if the solution is actually ancient? Yeah, more than 2,500 years ago, right in the middle of a really chaotic period in ancient China, a philosopher named Confucius came up with this incredible blueprint for social harmony. And honestly, his ideas might be more relevant now than they've ever been.
All right, so why should we care? I mean, these ideas are from a totally different time, a different world. Well, let's dig into why Confucius is still so crucial for our lives today.
And this right here, this is the heart of his entire philosophy. See, Confucius wasn't about making more laws or coming up with harsher punishments. His big, kind of radical idea was that a truly good, stable society is built from the inside out. It starts with each of us, with individuals who work on their own character, their own virtue, and their respect for other people. So, what exactly is this blueprint for harmony? Well, it all kicks off with a really simple but honestly super profound idea.
This is it. This is the absolute foundation. You don't start by trying to fix the world. You start by working on yourself. Confucius was convinced that real, lasting change in society is like a ripple in a pond. It has to start with one person, with that individual journey to become a better, more virtuous human being.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we cultivate this inner virtue? Well, Confucius didn't just leave us hanging. He gave us a framework, basically, built on 5 key pillars. Let's start with the 3 big ones, the core virtues that really shape how we interact with everyone else. First up is Ren. And you gotta remember this one because it is the big one. It's really the heart of everything he taught. It's all about humaneness, compassion, that feeling of benevolence. To put it simply, Ren is that fundamental goodness that connects all of us. It's not just a feeling, though. It's the active practice of treating other people with the exact same kindness and empathy you would want for yourself. And in a world that feels so divided a lot of the time, Ren is basically the antidote. It's making that conscious choice to try and understand someone before you judge them, to act with compassion instead of jumping straight to hostility. Okay, next up we have Li. Now, if Ren is that inner feeling, that compassion in your heart, then Li is how you actually show it to the world. It's all about proper conduct, rituals, the customs that kind of grease the wheels of society and create order. It's about knowing the right way to act in any situation to show respect. And look, Li isn't just about some stuffy ancient ceremonies. We're talking about the everyday etiquette that lets us all get along with respect. You know, like professional behavior in a meeting, or just the simple courtesy you show to your neighbor. It's the practical, hands-on framework for a decent society. The third key virtue is Xiao, which you've probably heard of as filial piety. For Confucius, everything started in the family. He saw it as the ultimate training ground for virtue. He believed that the respect, the honor, the care a person shows to their parents and elders, that's the bedrock for every other relationship they'll ever have. You want a stable society? You got to start with stable families. All right, the fourth pillar is the goal, the ideal person we should all be trying to become, the Junzi, or the superior person. But get this, for Confucius, superior had absolutely nothing to do with money or your job title. Zero. It was all about moral character. The Junzi is someone who acts with integrity and humility. The opposite, the petty person, is just driven by what they can get for themselves. And that brings us to the fifth and final key, which is the path to becoming a Junzi, education. But again, for Confucius, education wasn't just about cramming your head full of facts to pass a test. Not at all. It was this transformative process of shaping your character, of learning how to become a truly wise and ethical person. So who was the man behind all these powerful ideas? Well, if you understand the world he lived in, which was incredibly chaotic, It makes perfect sense why he was so obsessed with finding a way back to harmony and order.
He was born way back in 551 BCE during a time of total political chaos in China. And he wasn't some powerful lord or anything. He was a pretty humble teacher, a minor official, who was just deeply, deeply troubled by the moral rot he saw all around him. So he spent years wandering from state to state, basically a traveling philosopher, trying to convince these cynical rulers to choose ethics over raw power. And along the way, he gathered this group of loyal students, his disciples, who made sure his ideas would live on.
So here we are, 2,500 years later. What is his enduring legacy? How are these ideas still with us?
Well, his legacy mostly lives on through a book called the Analects. It's basically a collection of his conversations and sayings that his disciples wrote down. And this one single text has had a massive impact, profoundly shaping not just China, but entire civilizations all across East Asia, and really the world. It's become this timeless guide to living an ethical life and to good government.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly sums up his whole philosophy of self-improvement. It's not about some overnight transformation, becoming perfect in a week. No, it's about the slow, steady, persistent, lifelong journey of becoming a better person. You just have to be patient and never, ever stop. So that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. When you look at the world we're living in right now, which one of these Confucian virtues do you think we need the most? Is it compassion, respect, that sense of family duty, or maybe just plain old moral integrity? It's a powerful thing to reflect on. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.